Fundamentals, Power, High Performance. My name is Franklin. Welcome to LB Performance. Let's get going. Okay, so today we're going to be learning about the Cruyff turn. It is a ball mastery technique that you definitely have seen before. But the problem is I've seen quite a few players executing it fairly wrong, to be honest. So the first thing we're going to do is to learn how to do this properly. I'm going to break down this video into 3 different parts. The first thing is going to be how this technique works, and second part is going to be how to practice it, and the third part is how you can apply this in the game. We first must push the ball out as if we're going to make a big pass or a shot. So the ball must be out of my body frame. And then from here, when I plant, the mistake I tend to see is we just plant, which causes the body to face one direction. However, that is not what we want. So instead of planting just straight and trying to do a Cruyff turn here, what we are going to do is as we try and plant, we rotate our foot, meaning the inside is going to be open. You're going to feel as if the knee is being twisted. Now, why do we do this? Because it's going to help with our turn naturally. If I were to just come and stand on this leg right now with our body facing literally just forward, watch how my body rotates naturally. It corrects itself, right? So again, as you can see, that's going to help with our turn. So when you plant, just open your inside. So my hip feels open. And then from here, as my body turns, I'm going to make the contact to make the Cruyff turn. So the mistake I tend to see again, we plant here, we tend to use our inside, and then we chop down on the ground here. Look where my body is facing. It is very limited. It's about 90-degree turn, whereas what we want is a 180-degree turn from point A to point B. So that means when I plant, or after I plant, when I make the contact, I want to make sure that my heel is up and toes are slightly pushed down, right? So our toes are dropping down, and then from here, we just want to slightly touch the ball to hook, and then it's like bringing your knee up. That's going to caress the ball very nicely. There, and then we land here. That's good. Now it's more of a 180-degree turn, and then we can carry the ball to the direction that we want to go. So in natural speed, there and land. So I would say the important piece is going to be pushing your toes down just ever so slightly, and then from there, as you make the contact, just bring your knee up, and that's going to help with your turn. And obviously, another tip is going to be the bigger the action for your pre-contact, the more you can sell the technique to the defender. We want to shape up as if we're going to make a big action and then turn here. And see if you can come to a slow down as you make the contact. If you have been enjoying our channel, our website is finally ready, and there's a guidebook that you can download for free. So check out the link down below, and thank you so much. So why is Cruyff so effective? And it's simple. You remember how we talked about when we were doing the scissors, it's not just about how we drop our shoulders and try and move the defender. It works like the shield and the sword. When we go around the ball, it works like a shield. So it parries any sort of foot that might come in to poke the ball. It takes the timing away from the defender, because any sort of contact that might be drawn from that contact could be a foul, right? So same thing. When we do our Cruyff, think about it, when we plant, the foot is in front of the ball, which means chances are I'm going to be pulling my Cruyff move with the defender here, right? With the defender in front of me. So if I move the ball to the side and he's here coming this way, and I plant the foot here, where is the ball? It is technically behind me, which means I am hiding the ball. And that's why Cruyff is so effective, because it is behind from the defender's reach. Behind the ball. We're hiding it constantly. That's why we tell the player not to change direction when the defender is so tight, not to change direction with the ball in front of them, because the ball is exposed. Hide the ball. This is why Cruyff is so effective. So we just learned about how to do a Cruyff. Now let's talk about how to practice it. I'm going to give you 2 different exercises, and the first thing is going to be the 2 cones to the side. My idea is always to practice the move laterally, and then we can work to play progressively. So the first exercise, it is about 6 steps apart. So from the center, it is about 3 steps apart. We push the ball to one side, then we'll do a Cruyff, then we'll get the ball out with the other foot's outside. We'll do our Cruyff with the other foot. And we're just going to repeat a few times. So push laterally, Cruyff, outside, Cruyff, push, shape up, push, shape up, Cruyff. A small but very important detail that we must not forget is when we do our Cruyff, our plant foot does not come off the ground. This is another mistake I tend to see because the rotation of the foot isn't there. So you need to jump out of the way to turn, or it is because you have planted your foot where the ball's path is going to be. So if I plant the foot where the ball's path is going to be, and when I do my Cruyff, it's going to hit my heel, right? So what that means is that we must plant our foot maybe a half a foot away, a foot away, right? And then from here we turn, so that way there's room. When I turn, the ball's behind. And that's the only way you're gonna keep your foot on the ground. And the last detail that we kind of want to look for is not just the lift up of the knee, it's more of an internal rotation of the whole leg as you turn. If I were to do my Cruyff and then I make the contact, it's an internal rotation. Let's take a look at it in a real speed. You see how my joints are turning. So we want to look at the internal rotation. The next exercise is simply a zigzag pattern, which is about 10 steps apart for each zigzag. But depending on how you want to train, you can shorten it, you can lengthen it. It is totally up to you. So I'm going to give you 2 different options to train this. And the first thing is going to be as simple as you can get, which is about the Cruyff right before you approach the cone. The second option is going to be adding a scissors or step over. Then we'll follow up with the Cruyff. Right, so this is the application part, and this is going to be when you're playing on the right side of the field, or when you happen to find yourself on the right side of the field, we're looking to make a cross. However, the defender's jockeying really well, and I feel like if I were to make a cross, it's going to get blocked. So I'm going to make a big motion and then do my Cruyff, and then we'll get out the other way. Okay, and the final application is if you're trying to shoot to the goal behind us. So this can be outside the box, or if you're cutting in from the left side, if you're right-footed, you can try and pretend to shoot and then Cruyff to hide the ball and change the direction. And then, like I did before when I was trying to play like a winger, you can try and cut back to the same space again after the Cruyff.